Rudolph Buddy Hollis now has temporary permission to operate a new tour business using all-terrain vehicles, or ATVs, along parts of the railway trail and sands. The public were allowed to submit written responses to the plan, in which Minister of Public Works Colonel Birch said 54% believed the ATVs would pose a danger to the public, while 51% said they were concerned for the environment.
Many of the objections, Mr. Speaker, were lodged without the full knowledge of all of the specifics of the operation, such as the vehicles are not the ones seen on television and repeatedly highlighted in the print media as the ones proposed for this venture. The proposal is for guided cultural tours by qualified tour guides. Permission to import a maximum of 10 vehicles has already been granted, but the current plan is for tours of 8, 6 customers and 2 tour guides. The vehicles will not traverse any virgin land, but utilize the paved railway trail and service roads. The operating hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday are more than reasonable and will not impinge on many of the other users of the trail. To be clear, in spite of my honest and frank publicly expressed views on the nature of some of the objections, as I indicated then, I did consider each and every submission before arriving at a decision.
The minister has granted a 1-year license to the tour operator, but environment groups are not happy with the decision.
You had 628 submissions to it, and only 2 of them were in favor of the proposal. So I think it undermines public trust in the government's commitment to consultation. I mean, what's the point of consulting if the government's just going to do its own decision, which goes against the public interest? We think that the decision goes against public policy and legislation. I would even venture that far to say.
Mr. Starling argues the decision contravenes the National Parks Act by allowing motorized vehicles into areas designated for the enjoyment of nature.
They are also a threat to other users of the trail, children, cyclists, just people walking, horse riders, people with dogs. There's all these different threats to it. There's also a threat to the maintenance of the public trails. If you were to go out to the railway trails now, or even up to Hog Bay Park, you see that the trails are being only barely maintained at the moment. ATVs are going to lead to a greater increase of erosion, and that's going to need more public money spent to repair this.
Greenrock and other concerned groups, including the National Trust, are seeking clarity on the criteria of the 1-year trial period. For example, how government plans to measure whether the ATV tour is a viable option or not. It remains to be seen whether those opposed to the license will take legal action against the government. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.